All right, I had to turn my my volume up on my headphones a little bit because I couldn't hear that intro enough. I might have to adjust it on the next go around, but that was awesome.
Yeah. We're figuring out our tech here.
Yeah, we figured out how to load it so that we can push the button and not have to edit it in after. So that music has been brought to us by Kirk the
our
Ripper
producer
Wells.
is incredibly lazy.
Incredibly, and we'll figure it out eventually.
Our producer being you.
Yes, I know. Fucking retard. Welcome to the Blue Collar Philosophers.
Oh my gosh, I'm Devin. That's Biker Mike from Mars.
Oh, such a great day. I don't know if it was a great day, but
My day was a long one.
I took a bigger sip there. We are drinking a little bourbon today, and we're looking forward to it. So that intro music was brought to us by Kirk the Ripper Wells, guitarist, producer, and mixing engineer. Thanks, brother. I really do appreciate you, and I look forward to hearing your feedback, because you be messaging me tonight, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Right arm.
Right arm. So let's jump into what we're going to be talking about today. What inspired this topic, and what is the topic?
All right, so I was chilling yesterday watching a movie called Metal Lords. I mean, you'll learn this about me. I really like theology, I really like metal, and I really like bike.
I really like bike. I like
love
bike.
and
we got hit by a burst of last winter. So
yes, winter here is in its death thralls, and it's not going quietly into that good night.
no, it just won't go away. It's like no,
We just got, like what, 20, 30 centimeters
20
of snow?
20 centimeters.
Yeah.
And for you
Lame.
American people, it doesn't matter how many that is. It's enough to shut down your entire state. So
Oh yeah, if this happened in Texas, it would be state of emergency shit.
well, Florida would be like, we don't know what to do. Grandma, you guys still kill Grandma. I don't know. Anyways, so we love bikes.
Yep.
And one of the things you love is metal.
I love metal. Anyway, so I was watching this movie last night called Metal Lords on Netflix. Good flick, brand new. It's basically School of Rock, but heavier and without the creepy teacher dynamic. So,
Yeah.
and like I was explaining it to you, it's, the classic race to Battle of the Bands type of thing. Coming of age, teenage buddies.
Yeah.
These two misfits start a metal band called Skullfucker.
It's called Skullfucker. That's metal.
Although for the Battle of the Bands, they weren't allowed to go out with that name, so they wound up being Skullflower.
Skullflower?
Yeah.
That's not bad. I'm not even mad at that.
Not even mad. So at one point in the movie, like after these kids are trying to figure out, what is metal, quote unquote,
Yeah.
about their lifestyle, about attitude, about stuff. And the main character decides to hold court at one point with his guitar in classroom, saying like, let's talk about metal. It's like history is metal, da 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 da, guitar riff.
Which is, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it is. He says, stuff like, metal is about facing the odds, taking what's yours, taking control of history, control of your life, not being bound by, societal norms and striking out bravery, et cetera, yada yada. The people that crossed the Bering Strait to populate North America, that was fucking metal. Ulysses, after the Battle of Troy, battling gods and, all these things in this Greek mythology.
Watch the movie.
That's metal. Yeah. Yeah, watch the movie. Anyway, so he's like, this is metal, that's metal, this is metal. The people coming over on the Mayflower to America, that was metal. Well, except for the Jesus crap, so no, not really. And I go, wait a second. Like, I felt that.
I felt that. I was with you.
I was with you up until that point. It's like, no. Like, just no. And then I got thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? We don't really give any good reason for a normal person to look at the Christian faith and think, that's badass.
Yep. That is countercultural. That goes against the norms. That butts up against social Yeah, social norms, I think is the
And
best
even
way to
when we
put it.
do, we kind of suck at it.
Oh, yeah, because we do it so politely. And
Do it, yeah.
real like
All
just-
that. Or then you get like Driscoll guys who are like, like jocks, trying to bring the masculine edge to it, by being like, no, you need to have a job and, father lots of children, be responsible for your life, which is all very good things.
Very good.
But at the same time, like, that still isn't like that misfit punk rock metal.
Yeah,
like,
but the problem with Mark Driscoll was he was saying all that while being a D-bag. Like he was making fatherhood out to sound like you have to be the douchebag of douchebags to do it. Like you couldn't just be a good dad who loves your kids and takes care of them and have many kids.
Mm-hmm.
No, he made it sound like, no, if you're going to do this, you may be a little bit of a douchebag. And I think there's some truth to that. But I think his way of presenting it was he did it in a douchebag way.
Yeah, is a jock, straight up.
Yeah. And pop collar, all of it. I'm sorry.
Pop collar, white sunglasses.
Never trust a man with white sunglasses.
You ever throw a football, bro? Yeah, bro. Come on, bro. Jesus, fuck yeah.
Jesus, fuck yeah. Now, here's the thing. When you were talking about that, when you brought up the idea of this topic, the first thing I thought of was Ned Flanders. I'm like, we could
Okie dokie diddly, neighborino.
They're really nice, annoying. Like, I know these people that are so nice that you're like, fuck, I hate that guy. Like, they're just ridiculously nice on the surface anyways. Yeah. Maybe you get to know them and they're full of vile, and the second they bump their head or whatever, they're like cussing up a storm. But on the surface, they're super nice people. And I think there's this idea of this is what Christians are supposed to be, really nice men.
Oh, like, the whole thing going on, like, virally on TikTok right now, that plane full of people, like, singing, Kumbaya on the airplane with an, acoustic guitar and, like,
chartered plane, by the way.
I don't care.
I'm just saying, like, it is a private plane.
I give zero shits about all that aspect of it. It's just, I look at that and I'm like, oh, that's a weak look.
Yeah.
Oh, that kills a boner so fast.
I hope you didn't go into it with the boner. You're like, oh, fuck yeah.
No. But you know what I mean, right? Like,
I do.
It's just you see that, you're like, oh, kumbaya, my lord.
We know they weren't singing kumbaya.
I forget.
It was a decent song, in my opinion. I'm not going to smash it, but
kicking that song around on the airplane, stuff like that, you think, oh yeah, that's nice. I mean, and it is. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't want to come across saying that, like, this is the worst thing ever.
No.
But at the same time, I'm like, okay, yeah, the metal in me looks at that and just, the metalhead in me looks at that and just says, hard pass.
Yeah.
Nope. Like, that's the kind of shit I want nothing to do with.
Yeah. My only gripe with that whole thing is posting it. Do it. Sing Kumbaya on the plane. Sing your song. But it's just projecting this certain level of holiness. It's like we can't tell people, or not saying don't do it, shy away from your faith, and don't be ashamed. I'm not saying in the shame area, but don't project this idea of we need to show the whole world that how holy we are. No, you are holy, or you're not, or you are a good Christian, or you're not, and you don't need to project. If you're having to push that hard and be like, no, we need to show the whole world by putting on Instagram or Facebook or whatever our worship service on our plane. No, do it. Let it be in the moment. Enjoy it. Embrace it for what it is. Don't make it so showy. The Bible talks about that when people pray in the town square and they just really they make it to be this big show with these big words, and it's horrible because it's like, no, are you genuine? You're putting on an act. You are a caricature of what you think.
Caricature.
Yes.
You gotta add an extra syllable in there.
Syllables. Of what you think Christianity should look like. And what it should, and I'm like, man, like, those moments should be precious and private. Keep that shit to yourself and be like, no, this is between me and God. I don't need to show this to the world. Anyways, kind of getting off topic on that.
Rant away, brother. Rant away.
The nicety of it. What was your biggest gripe with the kumbaya side of it? Was the just the way they projected themselves, or they made Christianity look?
Yeah, I see that. I'm like, ugh, hard pass, cringe, cheese, gross. Bleh.
Yeah,
and I'm sure I'm not the only one.
No. Heck, if you watch the video, apparently there was another guy in the video who was like, shit, come on. Again, we just sang the song.
The one dude with his head in his hands.
And like, okay, all right, Phil. Yeah, keep. Okay. Like, everyone has that guy.
Yeah. And at that point, you're like, gotta put my headphones on and put on Rain and Blood to wash this out of my skull.
All right. So we got this really this Mr. Rogers view of Christianity. All right, I'm going to bring back a book. Did you ever read the book Wild at Heart?
No, I didn't.
Thank God. It's imagine like a guy from Seattle writing a book about masculinity and being wild at heart. Now, they have an idea.
Like a fake lumberjack Seattle?
Yeah, like a fake lumberjack Seattle. Like they know what an axe looks like.
Like, I've got a beard with lots of like manly smelling beard oil in it, but I really like a latte.
Yeah. That kind of guy.
I like to ride motorcycles, but I have make sure I put on that little toe protector so that my nice boots don't get scratched up.
Oh, the toe protector.
Those guys.
Well, it makes you go faster. If you have a toe protector, take it off. Scuff your boots, otherwise you're not serious. I'm sorry. I don't care how much you spend on your boots. They're too valuable. If you spend that much money on your boots, you're in it for the wrong reason.
I'll say it right now. Motorcycle toe protectors, definitively not metal.
Not metal.
Not metal.
I agree. You could be on a motorcycle.
Nothing.
You could be in a club and have that. I'm sorry, but you are just not metal. You're very nice. Now here's the thing: if I ever say you're a really nice guy,
oh yeah,
that's an insult.
So, one of the problems with Honda is one of their initial marketing strategies for being Honda motorcycles.
Oh, you meet the nicest people.
It was the tagline was "You meet the nicest people on a Honda," and that's just like testosterone murder.
Yeah.
And Harley kicked the shit out of them for that in the realm of, being the America bravado brand.
Fuck yeah. America, fuck yeah.
Exactly. They're like, no, we're outlaws. We're cut off denim vests. We're, drinking beer in the bar and getting to a fight and then, going home with a strange lady. Like that. They leaned into that hard for a while. Not anymore.
Not anymore. No,
they leaned into that hard. And it paid off because the whole you meet the nicest people on a Honda thing. Like, yeah, it sold a lot of motorcycles, but to nice people.
Yeah, to really nice people. That's why
and then the
I
rest
try to
of
be
us
the giant asshole.
The rest of us that try and ride Hondas now still have to try and wash that stink off.
Yeah, that's why I make my Honda look as little like a Honda as possible.
Oh yeah, like my Valkyrie, like
if you don't
it's
know,
crusty.
If you don't know that it's a Honda, you're like, what the fuck is that thing? Yeah. You're like, oh, it sounds like a Porsche or whatever.
Yeah, like it's not a microwave.
Yeah, you're not riding a sewing machine.
Yeah. Anyway.
So anyways, Wild at Heart. This book, Wild at Heart. And at one point, this guy goes on a hike in the bush, and he runs into these manly men. He's like, oh, these guys, they carry guns, they have beards, and they just seem so sure of themselves. And I was like listening to this guy talk. I'm like, what do you fucking mean? You're writing a book on godly masculinity, of having this wild drive in you, but you've never actually been in the bush to the point of I'm covered in dirt, I smell, I might have to kill something. Like when I go in the bush, we can't carry in Canada. So what I do is I carry a giant knife and I lead from the back. So somebody else is hiking in the front, I'm in the back.
You can carry a defender, just not a pistol.
Yeah, no, I'll do that next time. Yeah. But when I'm with my family, it's really hard to carry that and everything else. And I'm like,
don't blame your gunlessness on your family.
I have one, allegedly. Mister, I don't even have my pal.
I got these guns.
You got those guns. and you're working on them. All right, so I lead from the back. So I carry this giant-ass knife just in case, for some reason, if I get attacked by a bear, I can fend it off for as long as humanly possible. Might not be that long, but enough for my kids and my family to get away.
At least some of your kids.
At least some of my kids. I was carrying Elise at the time, so probably not her. I'd have to throw her like a football. And anyways, so I'm listening to this guy talk, and I was like, man, like, I can't even relate with you anymore. He probably never shot a gun. He's never watched a UFC. He's never been punched. You've never punched in the face either, but you'll get there. I'm pretty sure we'll get there.
I'm far too pretty. Nobody wants to mess. Nobody wants to mess this up.
Yeah, everyone looks at you like, I don't want to. No, I don't even think it's what mess it up. They've seen your shoulders. They're like, man, that guy probably turned into a good hit. Like, you probably intimidate unintentionally. You're not trying to scare people off. You just do.
Why doesn't anybody like me?
And I'm just so small that nobody wants to fight me. I literally had to get paid to fight people in order to fight me, because no one wants to fight me. They're like, he's small. If I beat him, it's like beating a child. But if I lose to him, well, I'm never going to hear the end of it. So this guy writing this book, and it was just not metal. No metal. Like, just, it's like a pussified city man, right? And he might be a really nice guy, but I mean that in the worst way possible. There's
He's Honda nice.
He's Honda nice. And that's from somebody who rides a Honda. So take that however you want. I really do feel like a lot of Christians, they have smashed down this idea of masculinity and this idea of anger and even the righteous anger. They have just destroyed it. Be like, if you're angry, you need to take that to God. Instead of being like, no, anger is okay. You don't have to be nice all the time. You don't have to be happy all the time. Now, can you love people in that? I think it's essential. You have to. Because the Bible does talk about they will know you by your love, but they have misconstrued love with nice. Because you could be a vile piece of shit, but be really nice. And I think that's where it's lost its place, where it can't coincide nice, or it can't coincide good and righteous with Christianity. Or they can't coincide being a righteous person and a Christian person at the same time, because sometimes there are things worth being angry about. There are things to not be nice about. There's a time to step up and do something that's not going to seem very Christian. And that's the problem. It's the people who are saying, that's not very Christian to you. Like, our language is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, right then, you're already setting the stage with the verb, or with the words you choose, that Christian is something other than the emotion you're feeling, or something other than, the ability to do something about your situation, or...
Yeah.
It's, you're like, oh no, that's not very Christian. You need to be more Christian in this. And essentially you're saying, no, you need to wuss out.
Yeah, or excuse my behavior. Like, Driscoll did this to a girl. It's like, well, it's not very Christian to call out a guy's sin, or to be calling a guy out like this in public. It's like, no, you did this publicly. We need to call it out. Are you disregarding your fault in this so that you can get away? Like, oh, you can get away with it because it's not very Christian.
I see more what you're saying now. Okay.
Like, and they disarm people by saying that's not very Christian, instead of being like, no, being a piece of shit's not very Christian, and that's what you're doing here. and we're like, oh no, we need to be really nice about this. It's like, no, I need to disassociate sometimes. I need to take this and be like, I'm not being part of you because you're a piece of garbage. Or figuratively, of course. And you're just like, no, and be like, no, this is not going to sound very nice. When I yell at my kids because they're not listening and I need to get above their voices, is that very nice sometimes? No. Is it necessary? 100%. It is necessary if you're going to be a righteous, good, or great man. Good is, yeah. Yeah, if you're going to be a good man, it's not going to always look good. It's not going to look nice. I know a lot of nice guys. I know some of the nicest people in the world. Are they living a life worth emulating? I don't think so. I don't want to be like them. And it's just unfortunate because And some of them aren't Christians, but they're really nice, and I love them, and they're great, but I don't want to be like them. And same thing with the really nice Christians out there. I don't want to be like you. You're not you. Your niceness isn't drawing people in. It's really not. It's irritating people. It's like, Mormons.
Oh yeah.
Fucking nicest people ever. They really are. They take the cake on being nice.
But nothing turns me off more than like seeing them show up, in pairs with their matching suits and little backpack and yeah. It's like nope. That's
yep.
That's not it.
No.
And I think there's something too, like even regarding the religion aspect of Christianity, not just like whether Christian guys are nice or not and stuff like that. Like we've really, really dumbed it down.
Yeah.
Like to the point where it looks like everything your grandfather would do.
Yeah.
Like, and not like your cool badass grandfather who fought in the war. But,
no, you're pacifist. I'm gonna avoid the war, Mennonite.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, like, we've made a whole religious image out of that. Like,
yeah, the pacifist,
we've lost
dispassion.
Yeah, we've lost like the druidic priests with like their mysterious wizard robes and shit like that with the symbols and all that stuff. That's like, okay, though this is other. Like this is something friggin' different and weird.
I understand why that's unapproachable. I really do. Like coming from the non-Orthodox background, looking at that from the outside looking in. Yeah, I don't want to fucking get near those Orthodox priests. Half of them look scary as shit. They don't look welcoming.
Exactly. That's what I love about it. Like it's the fact that there's something. There's something that in the faith is unironically stoic, unapproachable, other than just normal life and niceness.
Yeah.
That is there. Like, and it's unironic. It's not trying to be, this sort of thing. Like, oh, what do we got to do to get more people that are turned away from, normal church into church? Oh, we'll have this whole like, other thing and all the aesthetics and all that. No, like they've been doing this shit for like thousands of years, unironically. It just makes me happy that exists.
Yeah.
Even though it's unapproachable, that's the point. Because that's one of the things that is so effed up about Christianity is how bloody approachable we're always trying to make it.
Yeah.
That's not metal.
But you're an approachable person. You really are. Like, people come talk to you where me, I scoff off a lot of people. I don't know why. I just have this thing about me that I'm like, no, fuck you. I don't have my time. I don't have time for you. Unless I know you or you've taken time to build a relationship with me.
I'm not always approachable.
No.
Like,
oh, that guy that you scared off at your job site?
Yeah. I mean, I was just sitting there painting. Mm-hmm. And new kid on the job avoided me for days. Till somebody finally dragged his ass over to me. It's like, tell him what you told me. He's like, no, I don't want to.
I don't want to.
Tell him what you told me. He's like, I don't want to. He's like, he's been avoiding you because he's scared shitless of you. And I looked at him dead in the face. I'm like, do you have reason to be scared shitless of me? Did you do something? Did you fuck up a wall? Like,
what did you do?
Show me what you did. It was so much fun.
That's awesome. Oh, all right. So I have a theory.
Okay.
On why Christians are so nice. Sunday school. We have taken these stories like David and Goliath, where David literally kills a Goliath with a stone. How many stones does he pick up again? 5, 7?
I'm not entirely sure.
He picks up a bunch of stones, and he only uses one of them to kill Goliath. Now, did he pick up multiple stones because he only needed, or because he wasn't sure if he'd get him in the first shot? Some theologians argue that no, Goliath had brothers, and the other stones were for his fucking brothers. They were like, no, I'm going to not just kill him, I'm going to kill his family if they come at me. And he was so confident in his weapon. And then at the end of the battle, or after he knocked him out, I assume knocked him out,
No, it says that he was dead before he hit the ground.
He was dead before.
But-
okay, but he still went up and chopped off his head.
Yeah, he took the giant's sword and beheaded him with his own sword.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking metal.
That's fucking metal.
That is
How is
okay,
that not metal?
like how is it not? We've turned that into like felt board, like Sunday school story stuff. Like, no, he went and he finished the job of a centuries-long battle between God's people and giants.
Yes. And then, but we made that really nice, and for some reason, we carried that niceness into the next generation of our or the next chapter of our life, and we continue it as a nice story instead of looking like, no, he fucking chopped his head off.
Trophy, like a trophy.
Do you think you could do that in one swing? I couldn't.
'Kay.
I know it would take a few shots.
Do you know the book of Esther?
Yes.
You know, every time I've ever been taught about the book of Esther, it was a nice story about how
Women empowerment.
yeah,
and-
about how a princess went out of her way to talk to the king, and took a serious chance, and went to help her people not be persecuted anymore.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, there's a good moral in that story.
Yeah.
You know what else is in there? Her uncle was gonna be murdered and put up on a spit, high into the sky, and paraded around in front of all the people of the kingdom. I think it was Babylon.
Yeah.
And in a crazy ass awesome twist of fate, as the story goes, the Israelites fight back, kick the crap out of the people that were trying to murder them, took the guy that was planning on putting Mordecai on the spit and put him on the spit and
Yeah.
paraded him around in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Fucking metal,
Fucking metal.
right?
But and then they look at what David did after he became king. Like, he literally almost killed the king before him and all this stuff. Like, all these things that were just unbelievable. His adultery, and I'm not saying a good thing. It was just an unbelievable thing that he did. The having a kid out of wedlock with her, and then simultaneously turning around and taking that guy's husband and killing him on the front. Like, these are really crazy ass songs. They're metal songs.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is dark stuff.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, it wasn't just a friend. It wasn't just some guy. No, it was a friend.
Like,
it was one of his
closest brothers in arms.
yeah, a brother in arms. And for you army boys out there, you know what we're talking about when we say brothers in arms. Like, you go to bat for the guy, especially if he's above you in rank and he has fought for you. He's not just some guy over top of you. No, when he has gotten to bat for you and he has saved your life, all this stuff, whatever. No, that's a brother. And we take these stories from Sunday school, we make them really palatable for these children, and then we bring them to the next generation, and next generation, and next generation, and they make it really, really nice.
Or we just wholesale cut out Christian lore like that.
Oh,
is,
yeah.
that is dark, and like forget about it to past.
Jonah?
Like,
Jonah is a bitch. Jonah and the whale, if you read the actual story, I don't like him.
oh yeah, he is a total bitch the whole way through.
I don't wanna.
And he goes to hell for it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we talk about this and we're like, oh, no. He got swallowed by a fish. He was miraculously kept alive and spit out on a beach 3 days later.
And then he went to the city, preached the good news, and the people turned away, and everything was okay.
Yeah, so, nay. So, he is thrown overboard, because...
He kept his mouth shut for most of it, too.
Yeah.
He let people think that they were all going to die.
Yeah, and he finally copped to what was going on, because, like, all the sailors were trying to appease their pagan gods, and they were like, okay, they just assumed that Yahweh was any other pagan god, and if they got rid of the guy that offended them, then all would be good. And actually, that is what happened.
Yes.
And
yeah, but he waited till the last minute. Like, he waited until they were, like, going to die.
So we say that Jonah went into the water, swallowed by a whale, gone. No. Like, the next whole chapter is a giant poem written by a, conceived, uttered by a deceased Jonah who is sunk to the bottom of the sea.
Yeah.
Who is gone to the underworld, to Hades, and is there for an undetermined amount of time, and begs God for another chance, is essentially brought back to life, Gandalf style,
Yeah.
then is brought back to the surface by a fish.
Yeah.
Not set and cocooned in some kind of fish and miraculously kept alive. The man fucking died, went to hell,
Yeah.
got spit out back on the ocean,
Oh,
went and did a half-ass job, by the way.
oh yeah. It was done reluctantly.
Yeah.
He was like, ah, damn it. It worked. Now I have to.
And then sits on a hill to try and watch God smite the people that he went to preach to.
He was trying to get a view. He was trying to get the best possible. Like, I'm pretty sure he went and looked. Like, that one there. I bet you that hill there, I could watch this entire city get smited. The thing is, he had a lot of faith.
That God was going to smite them.
That God was going to smite them.
He didn't want to save them at all.
No. He was like, if I'm going to do my part, I'm going to do what I said I would do, and God will smite them, and I will get a front row seat. Read it. Read the story.
Straight up.
And we've taken this Bible story of Jonah and the whale, and we're like, no, it's a really nice story about, God's grace and mercy on the city. Yes. But the man he chose to do it was not a nice person. I would almost not even consider him a good person.
He's not even a metal person.
No,
but he was a person in the throes of a very metal God. He is a person who's being a little bitch, and then he's wound up just in the throes of a God that's like, all right, that's how you want to play it?
Yeah.
Crack knuckles.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat you around. And,
like
what I want to happen is going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit and watch.
That's right. And
like, how awesome is that?
It really is. It reminds me of that big guy in one of the Mission Impossible movies who, like, reloads his arms. He's like really big dude who, like, grows a beard in like 2 seconds, and he'll, like, reload his arms. He's that guy. He's like, this is going to happen whether you like it or not. Like, it's like my uncle always said. I had to throw that joke in there.
Of course.
Anyways, and the problem is we take these really great, these stories, this culture, this history of Christianity, of the Spanish Inquisition, like these things, like they were justified somehow, and then we make them really, really nice and almost unpalatable to not a modern, but a realistic person who's going to look at your face and be like, yeah, you guys, I might believe you, but you guys are way too nice. Like, I don't trust you now. You ever just not trust somebody because they're just too nice?
Well, we don't want them to look at the harsh parts of the faith. And we're like, no, love, peace, Jesus, hippie, happy, kumbaya stuff. Like, no, come. You're gonna be comfortable here. You're gonna be liked here. God's gonna pat you on the head, tell you you're a special boy.
Yeah.
Like, don't drink or smoke.
Oh, and life will be easier too.
Life will be easier. Don't drink or smoke. And we're reluctant to say, no, this is the faith. Like it or not.
Yeah.
Choose.
And I do know people that they chose the faith reluctantly. Like, they weren't like, they almost did Pascal's wager. And I know you've got a loophole for Pascal's wager, but they did Pascal's wager.
Oh, that's going to be a great Sacred Slaughterhouse
We'll do
episode.
that one later.
Okay, that'll be another sacred cow we slaughter.
Oh, Pascal's wager. That was too short though. We gotta team it with something. That's like a 2-second rebuttal. I'm sorry, but it's too easy to rebuttal. Anyways, this guy did Pascal's wager, and he kind of did the, if I'm wrong, holy shit. But if I'm right, that's fine. But if I'm like, it's a lose-lose if you're wrong. So yeah, the win-win was on him, and he's like, no, I got to choose this faith because why take the chance? And yeah, some people do it, and you can find great life in that. You really can. I do see an opportunity for people to grow and learn and find a better reason than Pascal's wager to live a life of faith. But yeah, it's one of those things of, I don't remember where I was going with that.
Yeah. So we've given a great account of why the Jewish part of the Bible is metal A as F.
Oh, and
What about the Jesus-y parts?
Okay, the part where I think it was Peter.
I think
I got
I
one.
think a lot of the times that's
Old Testament God with
Old Testament God,
metal.
Old Testament God, scary badass.
Mm-hmm.
New Testament God is light, froofy, like, he's old man in the sky that I could beat up if I wanted to, and that's exactly the mindset that like Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, and Christopher Hitchens, put on their gloves and they beat up that fake God.
Yeah. Yeah, then that's the thing. Like, if you're a Christian, you got to believe that God, the one who smited people, will smite. Anyways, okay. One of these people, they were like, "No, we are now believers of Jesus. We're going to follow Jesus." And so they went to one of the apostles, and he said, "What do I have to do?" And he said, "Sell everything that you have and bring the money here, and we will disperse it." So almost like a redistributionist of their wealth. And so they went and sold their land, but when they sold it, they didn't give back all that they were given.
They secretly kept some.
They secretly kept some. And if you look at what the scripture says, it says they were smited.
No, it's harsh. It's not just they were smited.
Well, one was smited.
Yeah, like, so the dude went to them and was like, "All right, here's the money that I essentially swore as an oath to give to you."
Yep.
And they're like, "Well, okay, if you're lying, God will smite you." And he died. And then the wife shows up afterwards, and they haul his body out while it's still war.
Yeah.
And the wife comes in and gives the same story that he did. And they're just playing this cold AF. And yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing. Dead.
Yeah.
Like, that's a harsh, you know what they say, it's a harsh teaching. That's oh, thanks. He's topping up my bullet.
Yeah, and so people, I gotta get back to the mic. All right, so people will take even a story like that, which was post resurrection. Oh, those are backwards. No, it was right.
Oh, rookie mistake.
They will take a story like that post resurrection, which means that the new covenant has been made and the really fluffy Jesus and fluffy God is into play, and they will look it over. Okay, that's one story. What about when Christ died on the cross? I think it's in Matthew. They talk about the saints coming back to life for 40 days.
Yeah. Like,
how does this not make it into the other Gospels, into the other books where they actually talk about, like, they don't go into that?
It's likely because it never actually happened.
Yes, possibly. But why did it stay in the Bible? If the people of the Enlightenment looked at the book and were like, okay, maybe we don't put this part in. Maybe we don't talk about zombies. I don't know.
It's not zombies. Like, and that's,
figurative zombie. I'm not.
Figurative zombie. Okay, that's a podcast for another time. Zombie resurrection. That'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
We'll do a mini on that one. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's the dead rising from their tombs and hanging out with everybody, for 40 days after the resurrection. Like, that's nuts. That is a very epic tale of Jesus breaking the bounds of the underworld and hauling out his bros, his buddies with him. They call it the harrowing of hell.
Yeah.
Like, that's epic. I mean, that's like verbatim, like, that thing that I was talking about earlier that got my whole mind spinning on this. The kid in the movie saying, like, you go to hell and back for your brothers, Ulysses went to Hades, and it's like, no, that's literally exactly what the Christian faith says that Jesus did.
Yeah.
Was brutally murdered, died, descended into the
his
underworld.
His murder alone. How is that not metal?
That's hardcore as shit. And, like, taking it on the chin the way he did.
Oh, yeah.
Metal. Like, looking at all the people that were saying, like, all you gotta do is kiss the ring and you're off the hook. All you gotta do is deny the things you've been saying. Off the hook.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is wuss out.
Yeah, all you gotta just be a real nice pussy.
Yeah.
And everything gets better.
End. Every single time he looked them dead in the eyes, either said nothing.
Or I am that I am.
Or I am that I am. or simple answers, yes, but he took everything on the chin.
And the backside and everywhere else. Like they ripped him up. If you read the crucifixion story, it is not a soft, nice tale.
No. And pagans look at that and they say like, oh, what a pussy god that you have.
Yeah.
That one that would allow himself to be killed in such an insulting and shameful way. Like, that's no god I want to. But no, that's not the end of the story. He took it on the chin.
Yeah.
He died peacefully, humbly, amidst all the blood and gore and horror.
As peaceful as humble gore.
But that's not it. Like, because we're not materialists. We don't simply think like, oh, you're a meat bag that is now conscious and now you're turned off like a computer and then back on. Oh, that's weird. How did that happen? No, like there's something more that we believe. And Jesus did something in that. He broke the fucking gates of hell wide open and hauled out his homies from the clutches of death, the beast of Hades itself, and ascended with them. Not to sit in the clouds like little angels playing harps. Like, no, they're now like warrior saints in heaven.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even... Oh, man, heaven is that's a whole nother topic.
Okay.
We got so much.
When we
scuff over it.
When we tackle that, like, I almost feel like we need to go over the last season of The Good Place and talk about heaven in light of that.
Oh, that was such a fun... The last season really... It tackled the philosophical far more than... And the thing is, it's quite a good series.
Oh, yeah. I loved it. I absolutely loved the Good Place series.
Yeah. I there was a couple that I was like, okay, the whole series could have gone without this episode, but they're necessary. I know
every show's got
it.
Even the great Breaking Bad still has moments you're like, really? Okay, whatever.
I could have gone without this episode. Like, they happen. So,
anyway, so that's like that whole tale, of being wrongfully accused, being told to kiss the ring, looking dead in the eyes and saying, hell no. Then getting sent to hell and breaking it.
Yeah.
And then coming back
metal
like
as
a boss.
fuck.
That is metal as fuck. Unironically.
And then you have these Christians nowadays and be like, no, if you were a good Christian, you would do exactly what your government tells you to do. You know
tell
who
that
you
to
are.
Jesus. Wow, that was...
You said Jeebus.
I did.
Sacrilarious. Yeah, feel free to use that one, everybody. Sacrilarious. All right.
I hope that's not like the thing that tips the scales into like, now go to hell.
Now
you
make
hell. Make Jeebus joke, straight to hell.
Anyways, so there's this idea that these Christians, they have to be really nice and do what your government tells you. It's like, no, Jesus said render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, but I think he was talking about taxes, and I don't even agree with him. I can disagree with him and not go to hell, I hope.
Well, I mean, it's not about taxes. It's really not.
No.
It's because, like, money, like...
You ever spout something really quickly just because you were like, had it in your head?
Fancied himself a god.
Yeah.
And his image was on the money. Like, it was... And that was paid tribute back to him. It was like a narcissistic god complex that he had. And Jesus is essentially saying, like, no, the kingdom of heaven doesn't need this shit.
Yeah.
Like, this thing that's got Caesar's head on it, give that to him.
Yeah.
He's the god that deals with that stuff.
Yeah.
Render unto God what is God's, which is higher and better.
Yeah. And people
it's not about fucking money.
No.
So that's not a... Oh, be a dutiful Christian and pay your taxes. You need to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. No, that's saying like
this doesn't matter.
Yeah, this doesn't matter. The God that is your country government, yeah, sure. Like, give unto it whatever it wants and fuck off.
Yeah.
But give the things that really matter.
Yeah.
To the God above.
Yeah, and you got these Christians out there that they make it so unpalatable. Like, just like, I don't believe that you live a life of conviction. Like, I know these people that they, like, no, you just, like, Jesus would have been Jesus would have wore a mask.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Oh, there are people that, like, they are out there.
No, Jesus was the guy that went and hugged lepers.
Yes.
It's like, bring it in, dude.
Yeah, he literally hung out with the sickest people in that time. And I understand that the lepers back then, leprosy didn't actually translate directly as leprosy as we know it today. It could be as simple as psoriasis, but it could be as bad as losing limbs. Like it was all over the spectrum in that area. And they had their quarantine, but what did Jesus do? He went into their quarantine camps and
He broke it.
He broke it, and he went and healed them and made them whole.
Masks are not metal as fuck.
No. No.
They just aren't.
They are not metal at all.
Like you put one of those on when you're riding in your car.
Oh, I know. Seeing somebody wearing one of those in their car by themselves, we can't be friends.
No, you can't.
I don't care if you forgot it on. No, we can't be friends. And I understand. I've been doing insulation lately, and I cough a lot if I have that, and I wear one for doing that. But the second I'm in fresh air, I'm taking it off. And that's coming from somebody. And yes, it keeps you a little bit warmer. It really does. I get it. And we live in Canada. But no, masks are not metal. You hear that? You hear it?
Somebody needed to hear
Somebody needed to hear that. They really did. Doing what your government tells you to just because they told you to, because they think they know better.
But Jesus would have worn one.
Jesus would have worn a mask.
No, he broke cultural norms. He touched unclean people. He made them his friends.
Yeah.
Like he was down for the underdog in every way imaginable.
Yeah. Well, leave the 99 to go to rescue the one. Mm-hmm. When he talks about rescue. Now, that being said, you're not supposed to be the one that he has to go rescue. It's like the kid that you got like 5 kids and 4 of them are being good, and there's a little shithead over there that won't sit still.
It should inspire you though to be the one that's looking out for your buddy, for your weaker buddy, or for the even.
It should inspire you to be the guy.
Yeah.
That goes
be the guy.
To go into the darkest place, to go and rescue the one who needs rescuing. Because you're like, no, I need to go into the place where nobody else is willing to go. And I know people like that where they have gone places that they shouldn't have. And it's just because they had a heart to rescue the fallen, the people who were... But that's metal. That's metal as fuck. It's not a weak person who does that. It's not just an enabler. Sometimes you're enabling. But sometimes...
some folks you got to cut off. But those folks, there's a difference between them and being the person that tripped and is getting chased by the bear, and you go grab them by the scruff of their neck.
Yeah, that's right.
Chuck them like a football, like a lease, then try and kill the bear with your hunting knife.
Yes, my giant hunting knife.
It came back around, brother.
It did. Sometimes you got to be that guy. So... Yeah, no, there's a lot of really nice Christians out there, and you got to analyze yourself, and you're like, am I a good man or am I a nice man?
Yeah.
Because we all know nice people.
No, it's true. And if you look at the Christian faith and you're like, I can't deal with the sweater vests. I can't deal with the 3-piece
They're
suit.
so comfy, though.
I can't deal with the pastor with a 3-piece suit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and everybody smelling like lavender.
Yeah.
It's like, well, then... There are other streams of Christianity that have a much more intense aesthetic.
Do you feel like the Buddhists are the nicest people too? Not always. I know there are some Buddhist extremists out there, but they're like, I can be a Christian, I can be a Buddhist, I can be Muslim, I can be all the, like, they just like, no, we're good. Like the no confrontational in that area of, no, I can be your religion too.
When I think of Buddhism, like there is the element of the Kung Fu monastery type of thing that I think of, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Like that's, but even they retain some of their austere, stoic, ancient past.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like, that's an important aesthetic in making something different than just the blasé, normal American life.
Yeah. Well,
is carrying intense amounts of history and retaining the ritual.
Yeah.
Like, the religion that Jesus had was so much closer to paganism than I think what normal Christianity is now.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the thing is, if you look at it by today's standards, or even by then standards, he was sinning in a lot of ways. Like I consider Jesus to be the perfect example, the archetype, as it were, of how to live. But the way that he lived to others was considered sinning. Like when he was walking with his disciple through a field and he was picking grain. His disciples were picking grain. And they were like, they are not keeping the Sabbath because they're picking grain as they walk. They're literally walking, and they're breaking Sabbath by picking grain.
yeah, he broke Sabbath laws because he didn't give an F.
Yeah, but there's this idea of in that time they were like, no, you're not a good man. Like they were like, that's not very nice. Like what are you doing, breaking our rules? But he broke them. Sometimes you got to break the rules, people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go along to get along every time. Sometimes you be like, no, this rule is fucking dumb. Speeding or going 50 in a school zone that's a high school zone. I'm sorry, but at when you're that age, when you're in high school, it is Darwinism at that point. If you haven't figured out that fucking cars hurt, you deserve to be run over. Make high school zones 50K or even above. Like really, let's really thin out the herd here. Get rid of the really dum-dums.
Oh my gosh.
If we can make it 70, play a little dodgeball.
Yeah. When there's one point one of our friends, Travis.
Oh, brother.
Yeah. So he was we were talking about the movie Boondock Saints.
Great. Oh, I watched that not long ago.
Yeah. And he's like, man, I wish Christianity was as cool as Catholicism. I mean, he's one of those guys that doesn't think that Catholicism is Christian.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. I'm still toeing the fence. I'm having a hard time. So I'm working on it.
But he was like talking about like hanging the rosaries, taking them off, put them on the thing, and like
I'm beating a guy with a toilet and.
But like there's a religious aesthetic in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Like of that kind of like that
righteous
Boston Catholicism,
yeah.
And that righteous anger, and and that kind of stuff, like
justice,
that.
like just a righteous justice of I am the vessel that God is going to use to bring justice to the dark.
Being a devoted follower of God that is wrestling with whether it's right to and do what they were doing, and saying prayers over the people that they essentially executed, things like that, right?
Oh, so good.
I'm not saying do that.
No.
But what I'm saying is...
We do not condone violence.
Like, Travis, he looked at that, and there's a part of him that longed for it.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, he's...
Let
me keep going.
Yeah, I am.
So, bumped into him a while back. We were hanging out, watching some shows at his place, and he wanted to show me, like, this new show that he was watching, Vikings.
Yeah.
And I saw the same longing in him at that point over this religious warrior culture that the Vikings had, and their beliefs, and the code of honor, and the religious lore that influenced what they did and how they acted, and all that kind of stuff. And it was the same look that he had in his eyes when he looked at the Boondock Saints, and was like, "Oh, Catholicism is so much cooler than Christianity, even though I'm a Christian."
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, there is Christian streams that have that aesthetic, that have that history, that have that symbolic lore, symbolism, history, mysticism baked into the cake, that is metal as fuck, but also completely has and fulfills the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're tired of lavender scents, beige walls, no pictures of 3-piece suits and stuff like that, check out an Orthodox or a Catholic church.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just do it. Get over it.
Yeah.
And go explore and read the history, read the canons of the saints, the crazy shit that people have dealt with and put up with, the martyrs, the badass shit that
oh, yeah.
men and women of faith have endured, have done, have succeeded in over time, and it is insane. And we've just thrown it all away for Ned Flanders sweater vests.
Yeah. Do you know what's... All right, what was I saying? I was going to say something about... I've already forgotten. It's all good. Do you know what I've learned that is metal as fuck? Martyrdom. But not in a social justice reign of doing it to make a point. Like, some people just make themselves into a martyr.
Oh, self-proclaimed martyrs.
Self-proclaimed martyrs. Like, no, I will sacrifice myself so that everyone will know how fucking awesome I am. No, that's not what martyrdom is. And I read this book back in the day, the Jesus Freak book, the DC Talk put out with the Voices of Martyrs Foundation. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, I had a desire in my heart to be considered a martyr. I'm like, man, if I ever got the opportunity, I would stand for what I believe in. But understanding martyrdom not as a self-sacrificial, but a conscientious objector to what is being proclaimed over you. So you're being told there is this thing that's truer than true, that you know is true in your heart of hearts. So like, you can't deny it. How am I supposed to renounce a God that I know exists and that I feel in my bones that if I deny him, he will not a fear of being denied, but just this I cannot proclaim something to be untrue or true. Like if you're being told to say something just to go along to get along, like, oh no, I know you're not into this agenda, but just say it so you can keep your job. I know you're not into the vaccine stuff that's going on, but just do it so you can keep your job. Just go along to get along. I know you're not into this, that, whatever it is. If you're being told to do something just to go along, but it goes against your conscience, you choose to do it, you have abandoned your conscience. You have gone against your convictions in your heart and in your soul to go along to get along.
Kiss the ring.
You kiss the ring. Perfect. And this idea of martyrdom, and it's like these people, they didn't kiss the ring. They didn't just do what they were told. It was as easy as saying, it was just uttering the words, I don't believe, or uttering the words, I'll just do as you tell me to. And instead they were like, no, I will stand by my convictions. I will stand on this thing that I know that is true, and I will not allow you to manipulate. I will not allow you to use my life against me. Mm-hmm. And so what they did was they went against even their own benefit. There's something beneficial to doing exactly what you're fucking told. And they went against their self-preservation to speak or to stand on their convictions. Now that's mental as fuck. To stand when the whole world is telling you to kneel, I don't know. And then people think that we're just supposed to be really nice Christians. And so if you ever meet a Christian who's not really nice, good. You have met a man of God, in my opinion.
Okay, let's push pause on that for a second.
I'm not saying he got to be an asshole.
Because there are some Christians that are just loathsome snakes.
Oh yeah, I'm not sorry. Yeah, I guess
like,
that's
and they're one, not nice, total douchebags.
Yes,
and also two, manipulative and vile. Yeah. and can project a sense of I'm a man of God. Yeah. And you deep down,
No,
you're not.
You're just a savior complex piece of shit.
So just say, like, if you meet a Christian who's a douchebag, not automatically good.
No, it doesn't mean he's good.
Unless when you meet a Christian, like, who maybe scares you a little bit, or you're with them and you have a sense of like, oh man, like there is a vibe about you that like a real self-assuredness.
Yeah.
And you don't just bend the knee to everybody. You don't just go along to get along, or you don't you don't do all the typical nice Christian things that I expect out of people that say they believe in Jesus. I've never heard you say kumbaya, or stuff like that. Like,
look up that word
chances are,
I don't know what that word means. I gotta look it up.
I don't either. I mean, it's like, you don't sing.
Yeah, I know what you're saying,
songs.
and I'm like, shit, I don't know what that word means. We keep saying it. I don't know what it means.
I don't know. To me, I guess that's just like that the song.
I know what it imbibes. I know what it imbibes without knowing what it actually means.
Exactly. That's when you know something's like deep in the culture.
Yeah.
Is when it's said. You don't technically know what it is, but the feeling it gives you is exactly the same feeling that everybody else gets when they hear it.
Like the word segregation. Everyone gets this really horrible, like, oh, why would you even say that? It means to divide into areas. I say segregate this into this.
I know. I do that with my money.
I do that. Yeah, I do it with my money. I do it with my children. I do. It's not a negative, and it's been projected this.
My
negativity.
wife does it with jelly beans. She segregates the black ones out of there. Because they're licorice, not because of the color. Okay.
She
hates black licorice.
Racist. Oh, wow! This was a lot of fun. This was really good. I almost want to end on that.
I just implied my wonderful, beautiful, amazing, and very
not
gracious
racist wife,
who is very much not racist, is a racist.
Oh, she's a sweetheart. If you guys think they probably already think we're racist, even though I'm pretty sure I'm black.
I don't know, 2%, just the tip.
Just the tip, not by choice,
which is more than our tip.
Not by choice, but it got there. Just kidding. Maybe. I don't know.
Gosh, what are we doing?
Having fun.
That's a compliment, guys.
It's a compliment. It's funny. Okay, I do have a rule. I have to talk about I don't think I've ever brought up my rule.
No, you did on the first one we did with Freezinator.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think it bears repeating. If it's more funny than offensive, I'm going to say it. And that one was more funny than offensive, in my opinion. If you don't think so, email us, comment on our shit, contact me directly, and I will tell you to go fuck off over there.
Yeah. So today we asked the question, given the incredible, badass, dark, twisted, and epic scripture and history and theology that we've been bequeathed, how did we fuck it up so bad?
Oh.
Like, we have every reason in the world to be the most hardcore, cool, like,
I know
just
what it is.
metal religion on the planet, and we cocked it up.
Nationalism. It was inundated into our schools. It was put into our culture so profoundly in every single, especially in North America. It was injected into every part of our culture, where if it wasn't nice, it wasn't socially acceptable. And because
it's for kids.
They made it for children. They made it for kid gloves.
We made Christianity Nerf ball.
We nerfed it. We nerfed Christianity, and that's the problem.
What we did. We're done. We're done. We nerfed it. We need to turn the Nerf ball that is modern Christianity back into the very dangerous and pointy mace ball that it was originally.
Yeah, take the kid gloves off. Talk about your friends who do too much drugs and be like, "Fucking stop it!"
Okay, what?
Not just drugs; it's just everything.
When we were talking a bit ago about words, like, and how you can say a word and instantly know, like, what everybody else feels about it without it being.
Nerf is a perfect one.
So, evangelism, the word gospel.
Mm-hmm.
You know that word, right?
Yeah.
Like, what does it conjure in you when you hear the word gospel or...
Well, when I hear evangelism, I think of televangelists and the guy on the TV and just going out there and preaching the gospel no matter who even wants to hear it.
Yeah.
You're spewing it on everybody like vomit. You're just anybody and anybody at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I think of. It doesn't matter if they're in the place. You're not doing conversational. You're not actually checking the person or building a relationship. You are spewing words, hoping that something sticks.
Yeah. And so the word gospel, what do you think?
Oh, I just think of the actual Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and the good news and what.
Good news.
Oh,
That's it. Good news.
all right.
Not for everybody.
Ooh.
That's a double-edged sword. The word good news.
Yeah, but then
Do you know like where the word gospel originated?
no.
Is not with Christianity.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay, I learned something new today.
The gospel, the good news that was going to be proclaimed, was a war tactic.
Really?
When a Greek or a Roman army rolled into town, they sent emissaries to proclaim their gospel to the towns. They'd show up, be like, your armies have been defeated. We now own this.
Yeah.
Good news. Great and gracious Caesar is welcoming you into his family, welcoming you into the Roman world.
So is it like the message,
It's the message of victory over your armies.
Huh.
And the New Testament authors co-opted that word as they went forth into the pagan world after Jesus died, resurrected, conquered death, and said,
good news, we killed your pagan god.
We killed your pagan god, and we're taking over this joint. You can get on board or get out. And they did that before they had like a Christian state or nation or stuff like that. Like they went forth and did that while they were still the minority as an assault on Caesar himself.
That's quite metal.
That's fucking badass. We'll end on that.
Proclaiming victory before he even had it.
Exactly.
Oh.
That is what the gospel is. And that's metal as fuck.
All right. Cool. That's it. All right, we're going to end on that. How do you feel that one went?
Fun. Cheers.
Cheers.
Go listen to Showdown, A Course of Obliteration album.
Phenomenal album.
It takes a bunch of Christian-y stories that normally get put on felt boards and makes them fucking metal.
Oh, pushing up daisies.
It makes what they should be. You're pushing up daisies, baby.
Oh, listen to that album, guys. Enjoy it if you like metal. If you don't, I don't want to say go fuck yourselves. No, I don't. I don't want to say that.
Because if you don't like metal music, that's not a big deal. It's okay. We're not talking about music in this podcast. No. We're talking about attitude.
Yeah.
We're talking about attitude and just the punk rock greatness of.
And if you're listening to this, you kind of get it.
Yeah, at this point, I'm sure you get it. It's not just about the music. You can still listen to your
country,
pop, or your Hillsong. I'm not trying to say.
It's the heart.
I'm not trying to say or tell you to have a preference in what you listen to as entertainment. I'm just saying the Christian religion far more badass than we make it out to be. Unironically.
Yeah. All right. Cool. With that, guys, God bless.
Don't be a dick.